Hello friends. I am Satish Lele. This video is part of my chemical process piping channel on YouTube. This video is about drawing approval. Selection of site. In selecting the site for the factory buildings of the proposed project, among other things, the following aspects should be taken into consideration. The covered area of factory buildings and other ancillary structures such as warehouses and workshops, internal roads, parking areas, footpaths, loading and unloading space, and garden area. Fire gap and fire escape routes. Space and locations within the site for installations such as gas cylinders, transformers, water tanks, underground water fountains, treatment plants, stormwater drains, etc. Building requirements. Factory building and services architectural appearance and quality. Final ground and floor levels. Floor space. Storage buildings. Guarding wall openings. Open side floors. Platforms and catwalks. Boundary walls. Landscaping. Factory building and services. All buildings and services shall be designed and constructed in accordance with accepted codes of practice and in conformity with the current factory's rules. Architectural appearance and quality. The building and other structures shall be aesthetically pleasing and of high standard acceptable. Major building components. Type of finishes, such as the external finishes of walls, electrical fans, extractors, blowers, doors, windows, movers, lighting points, air conditioners if any shall be clearly indicated in the building plans. Final ground and floor levels. Final ground and floor levels of the factory must be fixed in relation to the surrounding layout of the land. Adjoining road levels, invert levels and locations of the nearest manholes in order to ensure proper surface water drainage and sewage disposal. Floor space. No factory shall be overcrowded so as to cause risk or injury to the workers. The space requirement should be decided upon taking into consideration the numbers and size of machinery that would be installed, tables/workbenches, and other equipment that need to be accommodated in the production areas, pathways, emergency exits, and temporary storage requirements. The total covered area should take into account the production area required, storage space, office, canteen, toilets, service areas, first aid room, fire escape routes, maintenance space, tool rooms, workshops, boiler room, treatment plants, etc. The amount of work space allowed for each worker should not be less than 400 cubic feet. No space over a height of 14 feet from the floor shall be taken into account when calculating this cubic space. Storage buildings. In storage factory buildings, in addition to the main stairway leading to the working area, an additional stairway shall be provided which would serve as an escape route in case of fire. All stairways should be provided with railings and the top railing should not be less than 90 centimeters high. The completed structure consisting of anchor posts and railings should be of solid construction and should be capable of withstanding the point load of at least 90 kilograms applied in any direction at any point on the top rail. Guarding wall openings, open side floors, platforms and catwalks. All wall openings, open side floors, platforms and catwalks should be suitably guarded by means of railing or fencing. Where there is a hazard of material falling from open side floors, platforms, etc., suitable protective measures should be adopted by the provision of toe boards or screens of solid construction. Boundary walls. The boundary walls along the perimeter of the side of the gate shall be 6 feet high. The minimum width of the gate should be 6 feet. Prior approval should be obtained for location of the gate. Factories which are located in industrial zones, no boundary walls are permitted facing internal roads. Chain link fencing is recommended for such locations. For other boundaries, masonry walls are permitted. Landscaping, the premises and road frontage should be well landscaped. As many of the existing trees as possible should be preserved, and only those which need to be removed for buildings should be felled. Parking areas and access. Adequate parking areas and suitable access roads should be provided within the site, so as to avoid parking of vehicles on the highway. Security lights. The factory compound shall be provided with adequate security lights. Exit doors. Minimum of 2 exit doors in every floor or every room should be provided. Electrical installations. All electrical installations shall be carried out to the satisfaction of the electricity board. Miscellaneous. During the planning stages, due consideration should be given to the expansion programs for the project so that at later stages when the layouts are modified or the workforce with increased changes required and the provision of amenities to the increased workforce do not become problematic. Sanitation and health requirements. Ventilation and thermal comfort. Effective and suitable provisions shall be made for securing and maintaining adequate ventilation in each workroom by the circulation of fresh air. The minimum fresh air required in the workroom where there are no contaminants to be removed from air shall be such to effect at least 3 air changes per hour. Where natural ventilation through windows and other openings is found to be inadequate, mechanical ventilation either by exhaust of air or by positive ventilation or a combination of these two shall be provided. In the case of industrial buildings wider than 70 feet, ventilation may be augmented by roof ventilation. Isolation. Locate heat-producing equipment such as furnaces so as to expose only a small number of workers to the hot environment. Where possible, enclose the work areas and supply conditioned air to enclosures. Insulation. Insulation of the roof and providing false ceiling would be very effective in controlling heat. Good result could also be achieved by painting roof sheets with heat-reflective shades. In addition, hot surfaces of equipment such as pipes and vessels may also be insulated to reduce heat absorption or radiation. Sanitary convenience. Adequate and separated sanitary conveniences shall be made available for workers of either sex with water accessible on tap. Where persons of both sexes are employed, sanitary conveniences for each sex shall be so screened so as to provide adequate privacy. The minimum requirement is 1 sanitary convenience for every 25 workers, male or female. However, in the case of any premises where the number of males employed exceeds 100, sufficient urinal accommodation should also be provided on the basis of 1 urinal for every 40 males. Sanitary conveniences should have adequate ventilation and lighting. Large windows and or exhaust fans should be provided in passages and in open areas. Narrow, dark, ill-ventilated passages should be avoided. Water supply, water storage. In every factory a suitable sump and an overhead water tank should be constructed taking into consideration the total daily requirement of water for domestic use as well as processes, if any. The total capacity of the sump and the overhead tank should not be less than 1 day's requirement. The sump shall be located so that water could be drawn from sump for firefighting if required. Some shall be designed in such a way as to facilitate cleaning and inspection. If located on the fire gap, the design of the sump should cater for passage of heavy vehicles over some. Washing facilities. Separate washing facilities shall be provided for male and female workers. The minimum requirement is one wash basin for every 20 persons. Where troughs are provided, they shall be tiled and the width shall be more than 2 feet. Washing areas provided for female workers should be enclosed or screened so that the interior is not visible from any place where persons of the other sex work. In addition to the above, taking into consideration the nature of operation in the factory, a sufficient number of showers shall be provided for the use of employees. Showers for the use of female workers shall be enclosed. Lighting provision shall be made for securing and maintaining adequate lighting, whether natural or artificial, in every part of the factory where persons are working. In areas where persons are regularly employed, the intensity of illumination shall not be less than 400 lux or 40 feet candles at the height of 3 feet from the floor. In other parts of the factory over which persons employed pass, the intensity shall not be less than 50 lux or 5 feet candles. The above are the minimum requirements. For operations that need sustained attention, higher illumination should be provided. The following table gives the recommended illumination levels for certain operations. Workshop, 400 lux. Stores, 50 lux. Lighting should be provided in such a manner as to avoid glare. Pollution control. Suitable action shall be taken to eliminate any pollution created as a result of the factory process. Use of boilers, discharge of waste, effluents, etc. Suitable action shall be taken to submit a flow sheet showing the various steps of the production processes in broad outline, indicating the points of origin of liquid and solid waste. Effluents shall conform to the suggested tolerance limits for effluents discharged into the common sewer, a copy of which may be obtained from the Environment Department and the Board. The intended in-house treatment facilities to treat the effluent to conform to the above standards shall be outlined, and detailed drawings of these shall be submitted to the Board. Effluents shall be collected into a leak-proof storage tank, the capacity of which would be adequate to hold at least 1/2 day effluent generated from the production process before discharging to the common sewer. Noise. Due consideration shall be given to install noise-generating machinery permanently on foundations to reduce the vibration and noise generated by them. In addition, they may be enclosed using suitable material to isolate the machinery so as to reduce the spread of noise to adjoining areas. Smoke emission. Details of civil engineering aspects, locations, intended heights of locations, intended heights of chimney stacks for the boilers, furnaces using fossil fuels, and the quantities of fuel to be used shall be forwarded to the Board. Solid waste disposal. Suitable arrangements should be made to collect and dispose of solid waste generated in the factory, and solid waste should not be burnt within the factory premises under any circumstances. Dust, fumes, and vapor. Provision should be made for local exhaust ventilation system for the removal of any dust, fumes, or vapor produced during any process in the factory. Miscellaneous. In premises where there is oil spillage, such areas should be cemented and provided with drains and oil traps. Firefighting. Adequate precautions should be taken to minimize the risk of fire within and outside the factory buildings. Fire gap. No building or other structure, including any projection, shall be built within a distance of 20 feet from any of the boundary walls except with the prior approval of the Board. This passage shall be motorable right round. Fire extinguishers. Within the factory buildings, an adequate number of fire extinguishers and other firefighting equipment shall be made available. department of the municipal council or any other specialist agency may be consulted. Fire escape. The factory buildings should have an adequate number of fire escape/exits. All doors of the factory building should open outwards. Handling and storing of explosives. Where explosives and inflammable dust, gas or vapor substances are involved, adequate precautions should be taken, under expert advice, regarding their storage and handling. Lightning protection. A suitable lightning protection system should be provided. Certified drawings. The overall design and the preparation of plans should be carried out under the supervision of a qualified consultant. Civil engineering drawings should be signed by a chartered civil or structural engineer or chartered architect. Electrical and mechanical drawings should also be signed by a chartered electrical engineer/chartered mechanical engineer. The name, address, and qualifications of the engineer/architect should be indicated in the plans and specification of all buildings and other civil structures. Mechanical and electrical installations should be submitted to Engineering Approvals Department for approval before construction activity commences. For all buildings to be located outside the export processing zones, the architectural drawings, duly approved by the relevant local authority, should be submitted to the Engineering Approvals Department for approval. Architectural plans. Architectural plans should consist of site plan drawn to an appropriate scale, plans, sections, and elevations drawn to 1:100 or 1:200, with schedule of doors and windows and foundation details. The plan should indicate all functional areas within the building or building complex. The sections should depict all the levels and different floor-to-ceiling heights. Number of sets required to be submitted with regard to factory projects is 5, and for other projects such as housing, hotels, hospitals, etc. is 3. Service plan. This plan should indicate the position of sewers, water lines, surface drains, front and overhead tank, water taps, location of fire hydrants and fire extinguishers, parking areas, and the location of boilers. If any structures required for effluent treatment may also be included in this plan. Process plant drawings, plans, sections, and elevations should be drawn to a scale of 1:100 for equipment and piping. Electrical drawings. This should indicate the proposed wiring of the building, electrical circuits, location of switch gear and their ratings, conduits, cables, size of conductors, etc. Thanks for learning. If you like this video, please give a like to my channel and subscribe there.